Hi, my name is Liz Starrett, and the article that I'm going to talk about today is called "The Systematic Application and Removal of Protective Equipment in the Assessment of Multiple Topographies of Self-Injury." This article is written by James Moore, Wayne Fisher, and Angela Pennington. It worked with a single subject design. It was a 12-year-old girl diagnosed with autism who displayed over 18 topographies of SIB. They divided the SIB into three categories: shoulder SIB, hand SIB, and leg SIB. She also engaged in head-directed SIB, but for the severity of that, they decided to place protective equipment on her at all times and not to remove that in order to protect from potential blindness or other injuries since it was so severe. Protective equipment was also placed on her to prevent damage from SIB from the other areas, but not so much that it made it impossible for her to engage in the SIB at all. Sessions of an alone condition were run with systematic removal of only one topography of protective equipment. During these sessions, the amount of SIB per minute increased, only for the area where the equipment was removed. Due to the greatest increase of SIB being when the protective equipment was removed from her hands, they also ran a functional analysis using multi-element and reversal design, where she would wear all protective equipment or have just the protective equipment on her hands removed. SIB continued to only increase when that specific protective equipment was removed. Inter-observer agreement was calculated for each topography and overall was above 95% for each area. Some limitations to this study were that there was no clear way to find if the SIB decreased based on the function, or if the protective equipment simply increased the response effort, and thus the student did not want to put forth that effort to engage in the SIB. This study was really helpful for my project because I am working with a student who does engage in multiple topographies of SIB, both biting her wrist as well as biting her knees, and sometimes head-directed SIB. My treatment utilizes protective equipment as well as teaching replacement behaviors and differentially reinforcing alternate behaviors. So this study was very helpful for me. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a good rest of your semester.